Okay, I love this subject. What I'm about to share with you could absolutely shift you in such an amazing way. I know it did me. And it could open up a gateway of total explanation of who and what we are, why we're here, and what our mission is. And perhaps take you to a place of knowing and awakening. You ready to go with me? I think you're gonna love this. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. I just snapped and I hope I didn't mess up my nails. All right, here we go. You ready for this? I love this subject. Now, I do not dive into the unknown with Ouija boards or EVPs, if you know what that is, electric voice phenomenon, people that use recorders and other equipment to talk to the unseen world. I think it can be a little dangerous, especially if you're not on the highest frequency. You might open some doors because everything's over there, right? Everything's here. Everything's over there too. So you never know what you're going to be talking to. However, that being said, some people have some great skills and have explored that whole area, including Dolores Cannon. Now, I was trained by Dolores Cannon, the quantum healing hypnosis technique. And she did the same thing. She didn't channel. And if you don't know Dolores Cannon, you definitely need to look her up. I just absolutely adore her because she was way ahead of her time. She has left us. She left us a few years ago. But she would hypnotize people and do past life regressions in a way that was much deeper than most hypnotists. Most hypnotists were petrified of doing that because some of these people were going into past lives and they were just supposed to be talking about, their problems. And so that was a little scary for them. But Dolores was not afraid. In fact, she had a technique, which I learned, that took them into places that were absolutely mind-blowing. I've had students or clients actually recall being, other life forms on other planets, and amazing, amazing stories. Now, what happened during these sessions is that the subject matter would start to talk to Dolores as something else. In other words, this collective group of higher beings would start to communicate with Dolores through this person because they were in this unbelievable, unlimited space. And they would actually answer questions for her and then also dictate books. This is where her books came from these entities, and she had to trust that they were being, on the up and up with her. The information they gave her was quite positive and a little mind-blowing, and she did this for about 45 years, and they gave her more and more information that was so expansive. We're going to do that right now. We're going to do that today. I'm going to share something with you that was given by other beings on the other side through somebody else. Now, you don't have to believe all this stuff, but I'm going to ask you, why would there be limits to anything that is so amazing as the one source that creates planets? I mean, why would there be any kind of limits? And I believe there are none. There are no limits to dimensions, frequencies, any of these things, and we are part of that. We are part of the energy that is everything, one thing, all happening with all probabilities. Now, here's what I want to share with you. Like Dolores, there is a person, she's actually a Portuguese diplomat, and she spent 30, 40 years, I think it was, doing EVPs, electric voice phenomenon, contacting the other side, asking questions. And she was getting the same voices coming through, talking to her. So she had this group of energy fields that were not people. They were never people at any point. They were light beings of some kind, energy fields on the other side of a higher source, supposedly. The information they gave her was never negative, nor did it go into those scary spaces. Again, good for her, not my thing. But she talked to them and started asking questions. she started asking questions about the universe and everything else. And she asked what we are. This is mind-blowing, and this is what I hope will really shift you into something amazing. We are an illusion. We are part of the creation of the energy field that is all creation. We are an illusion. So she asked a question about, so why would the one create, all of this, suffering, all these things? The answer was, we are the unconsciousness of God. I want you to think about this. If the one is everything, the one also is exploring its own unconsciousness. We are that. We are a product of the one's creation. We are one. We are the one that doesn't know itself. And therefore, we are exploring the unconsciousness of what it truly is, to know that. This is why awakening is our mission, because we are learning how to know our conscious self. It's a game. It's an illusion. If the one wants to know everything, it wants to know its unconscious self too. But once it goes into it, it doesn't know itself. So it's not in the form of the one light, it's in the form of lower density beings in order to pull that off, right? When you're in a human body, you have density. You will never get out of that until you leave your body. And then you go to a light form that can't exist because we're in a higher frequency when we go on the other side. Now, not to say you don't bring your frequency, your energy field with you. It doesn't end here. You continue on. So if you're doing really great stuff, you better correct it now and get to know your awakened self. We are the illusion of the one exploring its unconscious self. That was mind-blowing. Now here's what I have to share with you. The person who was conducting this, the diplomat who does all these, EVPs, didn't understand what that meant. So I'm explaining it, but she didn't know what it meant by saying that we are an illusion of the unconsciousness of God, of the unconscious God. She didn't understand that, and I totally got it, right? It's what I just explained to you. How can God be unconscious? Because God's everything. It's light and dark and suffering and triumphs and love and compassion. It's knowing everything. And it's going, exploring, keeps going, until which time it knows everything. And then what? Maybe it goes back out again. It always was, it always will be. It's everything. It's nothing. But we are the unconsciousness that is exploring what we are. So if you don't believe that you are the power of the universe, if you don't believe that there are unlimited forms out there, both physical and unphysical, then you don't understand yet that you are that I am. And so you must continue then, if you choose to go into that higher level space, to explore your conscious self. The conscious self has no more questions. So people, we talk about awakening. There's no one space for awakening. It is all levels. Awakening just means awareness. I am aware. I woke up. I'm here. You're not in the dream state anymore. We're in a dream state, which is an illusion. Your dreams are illusions, right? Boy, I have the most amazing, awesome dreams. I'm always traveling. I'm always with groups of people. I'm always doing exciting things. I'm never here. I'm off doing something else. I don't know. I have a blast when I dream, but then I wake up and I go, oh, I'm a human being in a form of Landria on planet Earth. And then it goes beyond that. And then you say, wait a minute, I'm not really Landria. I'm presenting myself as this facade, which I can change. I can change my character. I can change everything about myself. You can do the same thing. If you don't like yourself, well, be who you like and who you love, because you're perfect and amazing. And there's nothing you can't change, and you are never, ever being judged. Only we do that. We do that to ourselves. You are the unconsciousness becoming conscious. Awaken to that. And so I hear people going into the awakened state and still limiting themselves. Oh yes, and I believe this, but not that. Oh, I'm awakened, but I want them to awaken. And so they don't hear themselves, still in the unconscious state of wanting to control things, non-acceptance. I know a lot of you have a trouble with acceptance because you think that means approval. It does not. Acceptance is the one is, for whatever reason I can't understand as a human, exploring that facet of itself. It has to, because it's everything. And we happen to be participating in that. Does this make sense? So we are an illusion that's participating in the unconsciousness, which means we're going to see a lot of darkness, but we are now, the mission is to know myself as perfection, and conscious means, what did I say in my last video? No participation and zero tolerance. What does that mean? I, as a conscious being, cannot participate in violence. I, as a conscious being, cannot allow abuses to go on. I have to now have a solution that's different than the unconscious response to that too. So the unconscious response has been battle, battle. Even in the Star Wars, battle, battle. And they started to go into a different space too. I just saw one of the series that Disney, of course, took over the Star Wars series. And of course, somebody had to put their weapon down at some point, which means that they left. And that was okay, because that was a triumph. And so in the earlier series, good is always battling evil is still an unconscious response to the lower frequency. I know, this is tough, because you think, well, how are we supposed to handle this stuff? You can't keep eliminating people to make it go away. It doesn't. It will never go away. It cannot be destroyed. How do we handle that so that we shift into something higher? And that is, we don't participate in the same behavior. We have to do something else, and we're powerful. We're doing a lot of it right now to the global issues. We have other ways of making this very difficult to behave a certain way. Right? If you're going to use all kinds of force that is on a low frequency, well, we can do other things that will make things so uncomfortable for you that you will not have that power anymore. And that is an amazing, different response than we've been doing in the past, right? Otherwise, if we continue on this way, we will do some serious damage to our planet. I've talked about, extraterrestrials cannot interfere because they would interfere with the learning process of us understanding that we have the ability to respond differently on the higher conscious level. I loved that, and I hope you understand this. Now, I did a video before about this, but I think it's even more relevant now. We are no longer having to be the unconsciousness of the one. We know who and what we are. It's the perfect energy field that flows through everything, including that person who's still in the density, in the unconsciousness of the same one energy that I am and you are. And Christ is. And everything is, both seen and unseen. And it's never ending, and we can't understand it as human beings because it's so magnificent. And it's always creating at every moment, and your thought creates. It changes the pathway of the planet at every moment. Choose wisely. I hope you'll subscribe. I have amazing courses. I hope you'll come take them. I have free videos and trainings for you that'll remind you of what you are. And I train you on what this power is, how to tap into it, how to break through those fears that are your own barriers, that they're still illusion. Anything you believe that's a barrier of fear is an illusion. So if you're listening to fear, that's the illusion of those who are still in density that believe that we aren't all powerful, all loving, perfect beings that can change anything. And so that's the manipulation and the power and the control that's going to program you. So stay away from it. You're higher than that. Your frequency's higher than that. I know that because you're on my channel. And then the last thing I do is a new course coming out called Activate Your Magic. We do advanced manifesting. What is that? You got to know what you are, how to use that power, because it is you getting past the density. You got to break through those fears, and then it's just you and your manifesting abilities as a human. What are we going to do with it? Amazing things. So come on over. I hope you'll subscribe, share these videos, and let people know that we're not this. We're this and that and that. And it's beautiful. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings. Namaste.